Hey guys, how are we doing today? Um, uh, Hope you're doing all pretty good. And it's the start of the weekend, so let's celebrate it by going to the first lesson of ECMAScript Challenges, ES6 Challenges. All right, cool. So without further ado, let's get started. First lesson. So it says that explore differences between the var and the let keyword. Alright, so it's gonna tell us the difference between these two keywords. One of the biggest problems with declaring variables with a var keyword is that you can override variables declaration without an error. Okay, cool. So you can override variable declaration without an error. So it says that the var camper is assigned a string James. This camper is assigned C. The same variable is assigned to different strings. So in this case, whatever string is a letter, it will print. It will get executed. So James will be forgotten and David will be printed on the console. So, so now it explains it that as you can see in the code above, the camper variable is originally declared as James and then overridden to be David. In a small application, you might not run into this type of problem, but when your code becomes larger, you might accidentally override a variable that you did not intend to override. Yeah, that makes sense. Because this behavior does not throw an error, searching and fixing bugs become more difficult. Completely agree. I couldn't agree more with this statement. Alright, so a new keyword called let was introduced in ECMAScript 6, which is ES6, to solve this potential issue with a var keyword. If you were to replace var with let in the variable declaration of the code above, so var instead of let and var instead of let, so let camper equals James and let camper equals David, then in that case the result will be an error. So it will type out error because let keyword doesn't allow the overriding to happen, however var does. This error can be seen in the console of your browser. Yeah, cool. So unlike var, when using let, a variable with the same name can only be declared once. Perfect. That's exactly what we want. So note that use strict. Note the use strict. This enables strict mode, which catches common coding mistakes and unsafe actions. For instance, x is equal to 3.10. This will throw an error because x is not declared if we are using use stricts. Alright, so now the exercise is to update the code. So it only uses the let keyword. Alright, so we need to use the let keyword. So this one turns to let and this one turns to quote. Okay, let and then quote quote is equal to uh cat name, which is this. So Oliver says meow. Alright. So let's run this and here we go. Submit it and go to the next channel. Go, go, go. We rock. Alright, I'm gonna do maybe later because yes, I'm not rich at all. So the next is to compare scopes of the var and let keyword. Okay, now we're gonna compare the scopes. So when you declare a variable with a var keyword, it's declared globally or locally if it's declared in a function. Yep, typical in programming. So the let keyword behaves similarly but with some extra features. Okay, when you declare a variable with the let keyword in, inside a block, okay, when you declare a let keyword inside a block, statement or expression, its scope is limited to that block, statement or expression. Okay, so for example, it declares num array and initializes it and pushes 1 2 3 in the array, and then writes down num array and which returns 0 1 2 3, and console.i console log in brackets I returns 3. With the var keyword, I is declared globally. Okay, yep, cool. With a var keyword, I is declared globally. So when I++ is executed, it updates the global variables. This code is similar to the following. Var keyword var, yep, cool. That makes sense. So this behavior will cause problems if you were to create a function and store it for later use inside a for loop that uses the I variable. This is because the stored function will always refer to the value of the updating global I. Yep, that makes sense. So declares print number 2 and loops through, and if I is equal to 2, then print number 2 is equal to function return I, and then console logs print num2 variable, which is it returns 3 in this case. As you can see, the print num2 prints 3 and not 2. Yep, because it's updated already. This is because the value assigned to I was updated, and print number 2 returns the global I and not the value I had when the function was created in the for loop. The let keyword does not allow this. So if you use let, then and with a combination of use strict let keyword, and declare the print num2, then it goes for the for loop, checks if I is equal to 2. If it is, then it prints number 2 and returns I, and in this case I will be number 2. So it's just in this club, in this block I will return to 2, but if it was a var keyword here, then I will return 3 because it will take the value of the for loop incremental here. Okay, and console log I is not defined, of course, because I'm choosing it globally. Alright, and that's doing it locally. Alright, so I I is not defined because it was not declared in the global scope. Yeah, cool. It's only declared within the for loop statement here. No, yes, here. No, my bad. It was declared here. Yep, so I. Alright, and where were we? I'm lost. Return the okay, yeah, here we are. For loop statement, and print num2 return the correct value because three different I variables with the unique values 0, 1, and 2 were created by the let keyword within the for loop statement. Okay, in this block here. Cool. So now it tells us to fix the codes so that I declared in the if statement, in the if statement, which is here, is a separate variable than I declared in the first line of the function. Okay, yep, this one here. Cool. So it says that be certain not to use the var keyword anywhere in your code. Yep. This exercise is designed to illustrate the difference between how var and let keywords assign scope to the declared variable. When programming a function similar to the one used in this exercise, it's often a better use to use it's often better to use different variable names to avoid confusion. So all we need to do is declare let here. That's it. Alright. And now we're gonna run the test. Oops, what did I do here? Var does not exist in code. Oh, sorry, my bad. So we're gonna be declaring let here function scope. Yep. Nah, I was wrong. Alright, let's read the exercise again. What we need to do: fix the code so that I declared in the if statement. In the if statement here, in the if statement is a separate variable than I declared in the first line of the function. Okay, so then we'll have var, and then block scope as block scope select, and then it will have a keyword declared is a separate variable than I declared in the be certain not to use the var keyword anywhere in your code. Function scope is block scope is this one. That's a function scope. Okay, so here, and then anywhere in your code. Okay, so we need to change, I think, this var to let as well. Alright, now let's test our code. Yay! Calm down and code on. Let's keep. No, we're not gonna calm. We're gonna get even more excited to go to the next challenge. Right, in this one, it says that declare a read-only variable with a const keyword. Okay, so const keyword means the variable is read-only. So let is not the only new way to declare variables. In ES6, you can also declare variables using a const keyword. Const has all the awesome features that let has, with added bonus that sorry with the added bonus that variables declared using const are read only. Interesting. They are a constant value, which means that once the variable is assigned with const, it cannot be reassigned. Okay, so it uses a constant keyword with uppercase variables. Okay, please note this, and assigns it to cats as a string. Okay, and if the if the value of this if, if the value of this variable changes anyway in the code to dogs or any other value, it will return the error. As you can see, trying to assign a variable declared with const will throw an error. You should always name variables you don't want to reassign using the const keyword. This helps when you accidentally attempt to reassign a variable that is meant to stay constant. A common practice when naming constants is to use all uppercase letters. For example, here is a common practice apparently. I didn't know. So yeah, I'm learning to say. Alright, with words separated by underscores. Okay, uppercase with words separated by underscores. Change the code so that all variables are declared using let or const. Alright, you use let when you want a variable to change, when you want the variable to change, and const when you want the variable to remain constant. Also rename variable declared with const to conform to common practices, meaning constants should be in all caps. So it says change the code so that all variables are declared using let or const. Use let keyword when you want the variable to change. So and const when you want the variable to remain constant. So I need this one to remain constant. So I would do the const, and this can change, so I would do let. Alright, and sentence. Alright, let's print this and see if we pass the test. And nope, we haven't passed the test, which means that we've changed this variable to a wrong format. Alright, now pass the test. Nope. So it says this sentence should be a constant variable declared with constant, and console log should be adjusted to print the variable sentence. Interesting. Alright, I think I know what needs we don't, we need to change the format of this console log as well. So if we do both caps, then it should work. Yay! Far out. Yes, we are unstoppable, aren't we? Right. Next one. Keep them coming. Okay, cool. So it says then mutate an array declared with const. Okay. So mutate an array declared with const. The const declaration has many use cases in the modern JavaScript. Some developers prefer to assign all the variables using const by default, unless they know that they will need to reassign the value. Only in that case they use let. However, it's important to understand that objects, which is including arrays and functions assigned to variables using const, are still mutable. Using the constant, using the const declaration only prevents reassignments of the variable identifier. Alright, so defining a const here, assigning an array, and then yeah, that will throw an error because it can't be changed. Just as it would with an array declared with var or a let constant return 5, 6, and 45. As you can see, mutate the object 5, 6, 7 itself and the variable s. They'll still point to the altered array 5, 6, 45. Like all arrays, the array elements in S are mutable, but because const was used, you cannot use the variable identifier S to point to a different array using the assignment operator. Okay, so the what's it saying that if you use the const keyword to make an a variable that's pointing to an array, you can still change the values of that particular array. For example, change the second index to 45. However, you can't point the variable s to a different array. It will throw an error like this. Alright. So it says an array is declared as const as yep. In this way, change the array to 257 using various element assignments. Okay, so now we need to change 572 to become 257. So remember how we access the values in arrays? Yep, bracket notation and then by indexes. So 0, 1, and 2 index. So we're gonna do the same and say s and bracket notation 0 equals say 2 semicolon s bracket notation 1 oops bracket notation 1 equals 5 and then s bracket notation 2 equals 7. Perfect. Alright, let's run the test. Yay. No, we're not gonna keep calm, we're gonna just keep keeping exciting and code on. Yes, we are. Right, so now it says that prevent object mutation. Okay, now I do apologize that I didn't explain you the word mutation and what what that means in the previous challenge. I didn't notice that, so now I'm gonna explain you what that means. So mutation is essentially means change. So if you said if it says prevent object mutation, it means that change prevent the change in the object. If it says array mutation, it means that change in array values. All right. So as seen in the previous challenge, const declaration alone doesn't really protect your data from mutation. To ensure your data doesn't change, JavaScript provides a function object of freeze to prevent data mutation. Okay, so if you don't, if you wanna prevent your data from changing, you can use this JavaScript built-in function. So once the object is frozen, you can no longer add, update, or delete properties from it. Any attempt at changing the object will be rejected without an error. So it's declaring the object, giving a property of name and review, and then it says object dot, and then it freezes this object. So if I try to change the value of the property review of this object to bad from awesome, it will be ignored because mutation isn't allowed. Why? Because the object is frozen. Alright, so in this challenge you're going to use object of freeze to prevent mathematical constants from changing. You need to freeze the math constants objects so that no one is able to alter the value of pi, add or delete property. Alright, so we need to put in say it would be object dot freeze, oops, and then we're gonna freeze the math constant property. I mean the object, apologies for that. Alright, there we go, done and dusted. Yay! Let's check if we passed the test. Yes, we have. Bring the rain. Ha ha ha. Let's move on to the next challenge. Alright. Okay, now focus. So use arrow functions to write concise anonymous functions. You choose arrow functions to write concise anonymous functions. In JavaScript, we often don't need to name our functions, especially when we're passing a function as an argument to another function. Instead, we create inline function. We don't need to name these functions because we don't reuse them anywhere else. Alright. To achieve this, we often use the following syntax. So const my function, my func, and sign of function. That's how we write the inline function. We use the following syntax. Yep. So ES6 ES6 provides us with a syntactic sugar to not to have to write anonymous functions. This way, instead, we can use the arrow function syntax. Right. So this is the arrow function syntax. I would assume that uh, it's the same, except that instead of writing the keyword as in function, we're just telling it that it takes 0 arguments. So if it took 1 or 2 arguments here, then we would write 1 or 2 arguments here as well, or parameters. And then we start the line. I mean, sorry about that. uh, Open bracket, close bracket, and then we put an arrow instead of nothing here. So equals eliminate the word function, just open bracket, close brackets, and an arrow, and the rest is the same. Okay. So when there is no function body, the only return value allow function syntax allows you to omit the keyword return as well as the brackets surrounding the code. Okay, this helps simplify smaller functions into one line statement. Alright, okay, so this becomes even shorter in this way. So constant function and return is omitted as well. Okay, I see. This code will still return value by default. So now it says rewrite the function assigned to the variable. This one. Okay, so we need to rewrite this function to the variable magic. Yep, which returns a date. To use arrow function syntax, also make sure that nothing is defined using the var keyword. Alright, so we need to make this a constant, and then we would forget about the function here, parenthesis arrow, and then forget about the parentheses there as well, and just return a date. Alright, and this should be working. Okay, perfect. Here we go. Let's test our code and see if we did it right. No. Get date. Alright, here we go. Get date is not defined. Alright. Where did we go wrong? Okay, I think we need to type in the new keyword and then see what happens. Alright, let's see if we pass the challenge. Will we? Yes, we have. Far out. We are unstoppable, my coders. Alright, guys, that's it for this video, and I'll be continuing with further challenges of ECMAScript uh, from the videos which I'll be making next. Alright, so if you have any comments about the videos or don't understand anything, let me know and I will make sure that I'll reply to you guys as soon as possible. Alright, until then, have fun coding, and I'll see you guys in the next video.